text Alison with 1L 989898 to BIRCH Gold, and you will get all the information you ever wanted to know about transferring your retirement into precious metals. The U.S. right now, for the first time in our history, is spending more on its interest for the national debt than any other individual budget item except Social Security. So that means we're spending more on interest than on national defense or even Medicare, and it continues to get worse. If you are somebody who is concerned about the value of the dollar, this might be something you're interested in. BIRCH Gold's been in business for over 20 years. They've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are interested in this learn whether or not this is right for them. So again, you will get your free no obligation info kit on gold. They've got countless 5-star reviews, thousands of happy customers. Text Alison, ALISON, to 989898. Very pleased to have Ashley Armstrong here today. She's the co-founder of Nourish Cooperative in Marcellus, Michigan, which is just near the Indiana border. And Ashley, this is video we're about to watch of people dumping a bunch of raw dairy products, and I say a bunch to mean close to $90,000 worth of raw dairy products, which first off, it's shocking to watch this. I'm shocked that you have $90,000 worth of raw dairy products. That's a lot of work. So you guys are obviously working very hard there, and to just watch it all get thrown away is I'm just sitting here totally bewildered about why this happened. Why would the government think this is a good idea? What's going on here? So let's watch the video while you tell me what's happening in this moment, and then we'll go back in time and talk about what led up to it.
Yeah, so here is the dumpster destruction of raw butters, raw milk, and this is not all of the $90,000 product. In fact, it's going to take 3 rounds of the government coming back and witnessing the destruction in order to cover all of the raw dairy products because the dumpster got too full. So they had to say, okay, we're going to pause on today's destruction and we'll resume after the holiday to finish off all of the raw dairy. So this is just one of the rounds, and it's so hard to watch because I know how hard our farm partners worked to produce those products. And so this is just the second round. There's another round happening next week to destroy the rest of the raw dairy products that were counted in our freezers. But yeah, we have a lot of products in our walk-in freezers. And so this has been over a month of kind of figuring out the best path forward to get through this interesting time. It's definitely been disheartening, and you kind of question why even trying to be a part of this and trying to make a change, because this type of this has hurt the soul a little bit. Watching all of this perfectly fine food, it could have been, we were not allowed to donate it, we were not allowed to use it for our animals, we were not allowed to use it for personal consumption. It had to be destroyed. So yeah.
I honestly, first off, okay, 2 quick observations. Number one, as somebody who consumes raw dairy products, I'm looking at how yellow is that butter that I'm looking at right there. I'm looking at how yellow that butter is, and I'm like, can I please have some of that butter? I can't even believe that went into a dumpster. I mean, because that stuff is really high quality just by looking at the color. I can't also believe that you couldn't say that you wanted to have it. Like, why can't you say, hey, look, even if you were to say, government, I agree with you, it's the most dangerous product on the face of the earth, why don't you have the right to eat it? This is crazy to me. You can't feed it to your dogs. You could wait. I can go to my veterinarian and buy Science Diet, which is like the worst possible dog food ever. But I can't feed my dog raw dairy products if I want to. I mean, I've talked to people about this case, and they're all over the spectrum. Some people are like, oh, it had to have precipitated by something. I mean, the government wouldn't just come in and do this. I mean, there must have been something really wrong with the product, to people who think this is just a complete tyranny, an example of complete tyranny. But I don't know how anyone, no matter where you are on the spectrum, can think it's okay for the government to come in and look at your refrigerator and tell you you cannot eat that. That is so crazy to me. I just don't, I can't make sense of that. I can't make sense of how people are okay with that.
So no one got sick. However, I'm sure you've been following along the bird flu. And the timing of all of this is just, Michigan saying that it's leading the charge in making sure that we stay safe from a pandemic from the bird flu. And so our first initial raid was May 28th, and there was nothing that came prior to that. No one reported getting sick. They just showed up in a car that had like Michigan logo on it. 4 government officials came out of the car, and they came with a cease and desist letter. So they already had that like pre-printed, ready to go. And it was a human food inspector, a pet food inspector, and then 2 dairy officials from the state of Michigan. And we signed a food warehouse license last fall because we were told that we had to do that. So I am very new to this, right? I love regenerative agriculture. I love nutrient dense food, and I like to support farmers. And so Nourish Cooperative started last September. And so an initial run-in with the government last fall, they didn't like how I got my pork butchered. And so I had to go to the pork butcher, put 15 hog carcasses in the back of our Ford F-150. I'm fairly certain the Ford F-150 is not rated for 15 hog carcasses. That's over 2,000 pounds. I had to pour used motor oil on the hog carcasses. Again, couldn't use for personal consumption, couldn't donate it, couldn't give it to our animals. And then I had to go drive to a local landfill and throw those hog carcasses in the landfill. I don't know if you've ever been to a landfill. It's the most disgusting smelling thing I've ever experienced. So that was last fall. And then after that incident, I was convinced that I had to sign up for a food warehouse license. And who reads the fine prints on these things? Apparently in the food warehouse license, it says that that the government is able to come and inspect your warehouse like whenever they wanted to. And so insert May 28th of this year, the government showed up, and we initially were like, well, it's a business day. Like, we have to get back to business. Please come with like a search warrant. And they said, no, you have a food warehouse license, so we are allowed to inspect at any time. Do I think that we have to have a food warehouse license? Where did all of this come from? Where all of a sudden, as a citizen of the United States, we gave the government permission to tell us what we can and can't eat. That's been something that's been going back and forth in my head. Where did I sign up for this? When did I tell the government I trust you? I'm fairly certain I haven't.
This story has probably made you want to drink. I don't encourage depressive drinking. Actually, I don't really encourage drinking for any other reason except for supporting the show. There you go. AlisonWinePromo.com. Drink responsibly, and also drink extremistly, not extremely like a lot of it, not tons of it. You don't need tons of it. Okay. Hoof and mouth problems right now. I need to just shut up. But anyway, go to AlisonWinePromo.com and support my show. If you're a wine drinker, you have no excuse. Get some wine that you can't get at the grocery store. These are all from like hand harvested, traditional, small batch winemaking operations and family vineyards. One that's over 200 years old, one that is, I think, around 9,000 feet in altitude. They are now from different countries. We're not just doing Argentina. We've got, I believe, Spain, Italy, France, and they are all of the same high quality, though. You'll get 6 bottles every 3 months if you sign up for the club. You'll always have a great bottle of wine to bring to those awkward cocktail parties. You live in your grandma's basement. You've done nothing with your life for the last 20 years. Grandma's, she likes to throw it back at night because she's bored and she's knitting. And no offense, I like knitting. But anyway, she's bored. She wants a glass of wine. Grandma knows how to hang at night. So you want to come out of your basement, apologize to grandma for unfriending her over the vaccine, Trump, whatever it is. Bring her a bottle of AlisonWinePromo.com. And it's a double punch because you'll also be an extremist without going to federal prison because you're drinking extreme altitude wine. See, win-win. Join the Alison Wine Promo Club, Alison Wine Club. Genuinely confused about this particular topic because okay, let's just say I believe that the government should be able to regulate commerce between you and a consumer to protect public safety or something, which I'm a big critic of, okay? But I don't have time to go into that right now, but we can maybe later. But I just want to stay focused on you being able to choose what you want to eat because I just don't understand how, I mean, I'm genuinely confused how you can't say, okay, fine, we signed this thing, we're not going to sell it to anybody else, but we want to eat it. It's like, it's in our freezer, it's our product, like we want to eat it. I mean, I can kill myself. I can take a bunch of drugs in Oregon. I just don't understand. I mean, granted, it's like, okay, Michigan's not Oregon, whatever, but the things that you're allowed to do, the government doesn't mind your buying or just having in your house. Like you produced it yourself. I don't know. I just think it's just very odd that if you have, yeah, it's like the food that you made yourself somehow is suspect, but yeah, the government doesn't come in and like, if you eat McDonald's, they don't care. It's probably far worse for you, right? But they don't care. They're not coming to raid your car to see if you have a bag of McDonald's, which my husband probably does in our truck. I'm gonna rat him out right now. Anyway, love you, Lynn. But yeah, I just don't understand how they can do that. That's just so mind-boggling. Oh, he just came in, gave me the look.
Well, oh, he heard you.
Yes.
Calling out your McDonald's. I think that this is just a topic that is what I hope that this experience, while it's so painful to watch that raw dairy drip out of our dumpster right now, I hope that this experience kind of just sheds light of how much hidden control there is in the food system. And this has got to change. So we have a pet food license in the state of Michigan, and we are selling our raw dairy as pet food. And as a consumer, you are welcome to do whatever you want with the pet food. It is the highest quality raw dairy pet food you can find. However, the government told us we can't sell raw dairy as pet food. So that is why they put a cease and desist on it, because we are not allowed to sell raw dairy as pet food. However,
since
Alison,
when? Why?
Alison,
Since when?
Exactly. Throughout the state of Michigan, I can drive 10 minutes that way.
That's how it is in Florida too.
40 minutes that way. I can go to a pet food store and I can find raw goat milk. I provided that list to the government. Still, nope. Our interpretation, their interpretation of the human food laws and the pet food laws state that raw dairy is illegal to sell as pets, but it's happening all over Michigan.
Okay, over on Locals, where people are joining the editorial board so they can put questions in ahead of time for people like Ashley, go to alisonmorrow.locals.com and you get to ask the questions. It's $5 a month. I think it's far worth the value. It's like when you add up all the questions you get to ask every month, it's probably 30 cents per question. And you get to go one-on-one with some of the most censored people on the internet. I think it's worth it. But yeah, DMSRS, where is the dumpster? Because a lot of people want to know if they can just go dumpster diving and find your product for free. There are sort of two storylines here. The first is what the government should be able to control when it comes to your commerce, your customers who want to take the risk themselves and pay money for your product and say, I don't care. I'd rather just take this milk, and maybe I don't buy into the whole avian bird flu narrative anyway, and so I'm fine. But you yourself, I mean, something that's your product, I think that's a whole nother level of, wow, I'm just so confused by all of that. So one question I have for you, think on this for a second, is when you're talking to your customers about all of this, well, okay, let me go back even just a little bit before that. Where does it stand with the cooperative at this point? I mean, that's so much money to have lost. How do you even stay in business? I mean, and can you explain how the cooperative works? I guess I'm understanding it correctly. There's several different farms that are involved in all this. So how does everybody stay in business after something like this? And how are your customers reacting to this? That's just one question I have. So think on that for a second. Let me just tell everybody about my liver health sponsor here. If you go to getliverhelp.com/Alison, you get my all natural supplement that was put together by naturopathic doctors and allopathic doctors. It's I'll read you some of the ingredients here. We got turmeric, beetroot, dandelion powder, artichoke extract, ginger powder, milk thistle, alfalfa powder, black pepper, L-cysteine, and glycine. And you know what's funny? It's got alfalfa in it. My son always goes out and eats the alfalfa squares that I give my horse, and I'm like, should I let him eat those? And then when I saw that alfalfa is a detoxifying, I guess is the right way to say it, agent, then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, just keep eating the alfalfa squares. Anyway, if you order it now, you also get their omega-3 for free. So you get a bottle of omega-3 along with, it's a omega-3 fish oil. You get that and the liver supplement. Getliverhelp.com/Alison. If you're somebody who eats a lot of sugars, carbs, you haven't moved over to a diet produced by food like Ashley sells, or like me, you are eating that kind of food now, but you ate a lot of sugar for quite a while, you can consider doing this for these benefits you see on the screen: energy, digestion, nutrient intake, skin problems, fat burning, toxins, cleaning your liver, all that good stuff. So again, getliverhelp.com/Alison. So yeah, so tell me now how your customers are reacting to it. How do you stay in business? And I think, generally speaking, I'm curious if the customers have reacted like, wow, the government is really overstepping their reach, or are they like, oh, wow, Ashley is a shady operator and I guess I should have known better. I'm glad the government was here to help me.
Yeah. So Nourish Cooperative is a farm cooperative. So we have a number of farm partners, but we don't just sell raw dairy. We sell chicken, beef, yak, sourdough products, bone broth, cheese, honey, maple syrup. What else do we sell? Tallow, dog food. So we have a wide variety of products. We are in a really awesome part of the country where we have very nutrient rich soil, so we can produce a wide variety of things here. So raw dairy was just one of the things that we were selling for pets, and it was definitely a huge financial hit. However, individuals like Dr. Mercola and a few others have shared our Give Send Go link, which has allowed us to raise, I think, close to $70,000 to help us replenish that loss of $90,000, which has been absolutely incredible. Without that, it would have been very hard to stay in business because that's a huge financial hit for a small company. We just started in September, and while we have grown, we're pretty much investing anything that we have made back into the business to improve logistics, improve farm partner experience and customer experience. So we have been able to raise some of that back, which has been incredible. And to anyone that has donated, like, thank you very much. So customers are enraged and confused as to the final ruling of the government. So I hope that they don't think that what we're doing is shady, because again, there was no one that got sick from the product. And so overall, the customers are, I would say, just like upset because we were a high quality dairy source for their pets. And now they're kind of like in the dark as to where to get those things. But I know for a fact that the co-op is going to be totally fine. We are still supporting some of our raw dairy partners, even though we can't sell their products right now. And so we are finding ways to use some of their products. So example, we're selling goat milk soap, which has been, which people have really enjoyed. So it's definitely a time where the future is a little bit unknown when it comes to raw dairy, but we are working a lot behind the scenes to develop a clearer path forward. We have been approached by so many different food freedom individuals. The support has been amazing. This group, the food freedom movement, is incredible. And I can say with confidence that with the individuals in this movement, we are going to see really great changes to the food system over the next few years. It's just these type of things take time. Like the Chevron deference I guess that was last week. I think that is a great first step in kind of eliminating this arbitrary, these local government groups that come up with kind of arbitrary things. For example, why is it required to have a food warehouse license if customers like agree to buying from a certain, there just seems to be a lot of arbitrary food control in this area. And I'm sure it's similar amongst a variety of different industries.
Right. Well, it definitely is in the free speech censorship world. That's one of my biggest gripes with the big tech platforms, for instance, especially like YouTube, is that the rules are very vague and the enforcement is very arbitrary, and you can't really run a business based on journalism with a landlord like YouTube, because they change the rules and their interpretation of the rules all the time. Is there, before we go further, is there a way people can support you that are watching and never heard of you before? I have your website, nourishcooperative.com, up right now. What should people do if they want to reach out or they want to support you in some way?
Well, if you make an account on that page, so if you join the waitlist, we will be opening up the website to more people here very soon. So you can sign up for the waitlist on our website. Honestly, the best way to support us would be like buying product from us. However, if you do want to contribute to the donations, if we have to pursue legal next, I don't know what our next steps are yet. We're working on that behind the scenes, but we may have to pursue legal steps. We have a Give Send Go. If you just search Give Send Go raw dairy, it's that should come up if someone is looking to donate. But that is not needed. Sign up for our wait list for Nourish and be a customer in the future when we open up spots. That would be amazing.